dead. No more. No
Good evening. Welcome back to the Watchers Brawl. We've just saw a great series between two teams, but let's forget that. That's in the past. Not necessary anymore to think about that. We got two new teams: Augury Game versus MetaMorphic. With me again is poor Zach. Zach, are you still good? Have you had a good break?
I had a nice little break. I got a little bit of food in me, got a little bit more water, and got to really reflect on that last game and get excited for this next one.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, maybe some things could come back in this series, but that's not always the case. Some teams are just very stuck in their ways, don't even care about what other teams do. But that's why we got the hero bands. So they could maybe shake some things up.
Yeah.
But enough about our thoughts. I want to hear something about the head coach of MetaMorphic, Goan Jun. Goan Jun? I don't know. How am I pronouncing that one? Because I don't really know.
Go on, Jun. But people call me
Jun.
Goon Jun too, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay. A little bit more of an Eastern spin to say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you're head coach for MetaMorphic. Obviously, you've been prepping for other things besides this tournament. How's the team feeling in general? How long have you been together?
We've been together for about 6 months ish. So
okay.
A pretty long time. Yeah. Been through 2 ODs together, and I think this one we're feeling real good about so far.
Okay. So that's the upcoming OD. Or yeah. Okay. That's always a positive. Have you made any major roster swaps in the meantime, or has it been the same 6 players?
We swapped out our main tank and off support, but other than that, we've kept a core 4 players.
Okay, that's always nice.
Wow.
As a coach, do you feel that you've had to do a lot in the form of theory crafting lately, or has it been mostly just perfecting the good old the sort of standard strategies you've had?
So whenever a new patch hits, there's a lot of theory crafting to be done, but when all of that turns out to be wrong and you just kind of stick with goats, it's just about perfecting that and figuring out how to come out on top of these really messy fights where a lot of stuff happens. So I've been working more on perfecting goats as opposed to theory crafting other comps.
Okay. And do you have a larger staff, or is it just you, or how does that work?
Well, there's me, there's another coach, Empress, and we have our manager, Bucky. So
Okay.
that's our coach or our staff.
I mean, hey, it's at least more than just you. It always feels nice to have some support behind your back besides just having the players look at you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Are you feeling good about the map pool, or are you missing some maps in there? You're like, oh, that would have been nice if that one was in there.
No, we're feeling pretty good. We we don't have too high of a pick of maps. We kind of just go and play the maps that we're good at. And
Okay. Well, I mean, everyone has their preferences a little bit. I personally was sad when Numbani was gone for a little bit in the queue. So I'm happy that's back. But I'm obviously you're gonna get into the match soon. Before we do that, before we close the interview down, do you have any people you want to shout out to? Like anyone you want to thank? Maybe some plugs you want to make?
Oh, sure. I'd like to thank the Watchers for hosting this POG tournament. Obviously, wouldn't be here without you guys. And then obviously everybody on the team, Potion, Poseidon, Noctis, Mark, Jay, and Gatos. You guys are the ones that make everything run. Empress and Bucky, obviously, too, because the team wouldn't be the same without staff. Everybody plays a part, and everybody gets the ship moving. So that's about it.
You sure not leaving anyone out there? Someone who supported you throughout your life. Some like today is a special occasion, or.
Oh, right. Me mom.
No, definitely not putting you on the spot there. Don't worry. But hey, thank you for the interview. Good to have you on. Obviously, good luck in this game. Good luck in the future and with the next OD, because that's gonna happen.
Thank you.
yeah, we're gonna see how your coaching's paying off for these guys against
Oh, yeah.
Augury Gaming. So yeah, thank you, and maybe we'll see you around some other time. It's always good
Oh,
to
yeah.
talk to some people.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for the call. But with that, I think it's time to get to the game, Zach. Do you
Yes.
agree?
Yeah, I'm super excited to see this game. Like I said, I did have some time to actually look at VOD with MetaMorphic in it, and when he was saying about how they really don't theory craft and they want to perfect their goats, they are absolutely right. In their VOD, they played all goats and completely destroyed the enemy team. So I'm very, very excited to see how they do today.
Yeah, and of course, scrims is not exactly the same as a match, but yeah, I mean, Augury Gaming does seem to have their work cut out for them. The team that's been together for 6 months is nothing to be not afraid of, essentially.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, we see teams have this confidence, this thing like, oh, we can do anything, doesn't matter who we go up against. So Augury Gaming could be one of those teams, and yeah, I mean, maybe they figured out that goats isn't the meta. Maybe they figured out their own thing. It's possible. And we go into Lijiang Gardens first. So if there's any map on Lijiang, you could very well counter goats with something that's not goats. I think this is the one.
Yeah, definitely. In the VOD with MetaMorphic that I was able to watch on Garden, this is the round they lost because the enemy team decided to run that quad DPS composition, which they weren't actually able to answer to all that well. So I suspect that if the other team feels very confident, Augury Gaming feels very confident using those triple quad DPS, this could be a closer series than what MetaMorphic are actually thinking they're about to have.
With an account named like Hanzo, you would suspect, them picking that Shimada brother. Does look like Hanzo going over to the Tracer, which is going to be a little bit of a weird one throughout the series. You know what? Let's just call him Dragon, because I think that's also a name he's known under. So let's just call him Dragon. That won't confuse us anymore. So, yeah, I mean, blue side, Augury Gaming, red side is gonna be MetaMorphic, and they're gonna go away here, as you said, on the goats. No real surprise. On the other side, though, quad DPS, and this is normally where we see the quad DPS win out. But let's see how they deal with it. Going through a white room here, but they see it, and it looks like they want to go back to spawn.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna make some swaps here.
What would they switch though? Like, are they gonna go swap entirely, or just?
They might swap to their own version of this. Or no, they're gonna switch to more. Okay, they're gonna switch Winston, Sombra, and Moira. This is definitely more catered to take down these quad DPS. But yeah, no, with this quad DPS, this map is so open. Widow's at free range. The Pharah can just shoot from anywhere. But this Moira is really gonna be the one you're gonna have to look out for.
Lisa gets pressured out a little bit, but is able to kite back Noftly. Noct is going down straight away. Noct, Hanzo or Dragon was hacked up by Sayonara, so says Sayonara to Sayonara, and now Jenny and Rose just get it back up, get potion out, gate us off the map. Sayonara will eventually fall to a nice headshot there from Lisa. So we're looking good here. I'm thinking you're happy here on the side here.
Oh yeah,
gaming, but and now they've got some ultimates brewing shortly as well, likely. So this is looking to be a little bit of a tough one already for MetaMorphic.
Yeah, it looks like they're going in for a big dive right now. I'm excited to see how this goes out. Sombra's really gonna be looking for that hack right now onto either the Mercy or the Pharah would be huge.
Yeah, Noct is going down early again, but Rose also falling. So JD, a little bit happy about that one. And now they're sort of even, but they're missing that point presence of the Hammond. So they really got to figure out how to do this. They don't even get the EP out. I think it got canceled. That's such a nice stun there.
Oh my goodness.
That is actually, that could be potentially map winning, because now it's going to take a while before the EMP comes back on. Noctis actually gets Lisa. A little bit of an revenge, Didn't do that well in the first two fights, so happy to take that one off.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to go back now and switch to the standard 3-3. They're going to stick with the Far Mercy, maybe? Yeah, they're going to decide to do that because they have their ultimates up.
Yeah.
Figure might as well get some use out of that. And now it's going to be a little bit harder for MetaMorphic to kind of hold this, because this 3-3 is a little bit more better at staying on the point, staying self-sustained. We're going to see how it turns out, though.
Yeah, they're really using that bubble as more of a quasi Reinhardt shield. Sayonara not actually getting much after the EP.
Double
but
boot.
Noctis says, you know what? If you can't use your abilities, you cannot really stay on that high ground, can you? So you just fall into the koi pond, swimming with the fishes. Yeah, nice one.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how much damage that boot does, just matters how far you hit him back, and he hit him back just enough so it would fall off the edge.
Naka's got to be feeling good about that one. You know, like I said, had a little bit of a slow start, but definitely coming online now. It's a little bit done. You said, I don't need your shenanigans anymore. I can also get some kills. Now they gotta watch out for the primal rates from Marky Mark. Also, gonna probably be able to poop some people close to the edge. Doesn't actually get that far, so does take a lot of damage. Yeah, Gatos also going low, but that sound barrier will save almost everyone's health bar, really. Marky Mark getting Jenny off the map, Rose falling as well. Self-destruct doesn't get value, but doesn't really need to. Just don't sprinkle out a little bit. And there's going to be another fight win here for MetaMorphic, who really just turned around the pace of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Once they captured it from the DPS comp that Augury was running, there wasn't much they could have done about that once they were on the point, especially since their hammer was down. But it looks like right now they're just trying to get in there for some stall. They might not even make it in time.
No, that won't. And I think looking back at that as well, that EMP cancel was so big.
Yes, absolutely. That definitely, who knows what could have happened if that EMP did manage to come out here. Could it have been round changing? Could it have been map changing? Could it have been the difference? Really, if you think about it, between winning the whole series or not, we'll have to see. But now we're moving into Control Center. Pretty excited to see how this one turns out. I'm sure it's just going to be regular goats.
This just should be the 3-3 matchup. Maybe they'll go for something like a May. It's possible, but it does look like they just want to go with the 3-3. So yeah, what's important about the 3-3 matchup on Control here, because it's not exactly like other points.
No, it's not. And what's important about this is there's just so much close quarter space when you get onto that point, because it's all in a circle. You got walls you can hide around. So, and up top near it, also walls you can hide around, just things that you can use as your advantage. So that just really helps with the GOATS lineup.
Yeah. I would say the ones that wins the first fight here, and as long as they do right ultimate rotations, they might even be able to just win out 100-0, because it's so hard to push back in this map. So far, JD going very low. They're doing a lot of damage here, but no kills following yet. But Marky Mark goes down. That's a huge pick. And the Reinhardt, losing to Reinhardt, JD going very low as well. They're not really splitting up. They're sort of moving their team in between MetaMorphic here. Gatos does get the kill on Rose. So JD really needs to get back into mech. Does manage to do that. This might actually be turned around because Marky Mark is coming back in, and they haven't gotten more kills here on the side of Augury Gaming. So they really need to get something going here. Otherwise, this first fight might actually go back in another direction.
Yeah, Rose Rose's back too,
and we're back 6v6. Yeah. Nothing happened. It's like we not even started the map yet. Shatter,
except for that Shatter coming out.
Gets Gatos on the ground. Nothing else, but not enough. Gatos actually going down, and we see these divas just on the middle of the point. Such a nice play there. Great graviton. Will immediately get the value. The Shatter gets. That's weird. So you knew the Shatter was coming out, but you still didn't put your shield up, Rose. Doesn't matter. Follow-up was there. Marky Mark going down. Potion as well. First fight, won. But not a decisive first fight. So it's not as bad as it usually is when you win that first fight. But still, the choke could be very powerful.
Mm-hmm. And the ultimates really for both teams are pretty even right now. Looking to come in, they could use the Graviton, try to bait out that Lucio ult, see what happens here.
Oh, it was eaten! That's huge! Sayonara to that Graviton, and Yakara is now just doing a lot of work there. But nice charge, didn't get anything because of the bubble, but these Reiners just smacking into each other. Lisa going a little low, but they're just retreating to the point. Rose gets split off though, managed to get back to the team. But this is such a back and forth, this jostling for position, just smacking one, and if I strike again another, and then the bubble goes on one, and these teams are so even when it comes to this 3-3. Nice grab though.
This grab is looking pretty good right now.
Marky Mark with his Shatter, hits two, but the Trent is still out. Follow up on Jenny though, nice target focus. Self-destruct doesn't get much here, unfortunately. So it's only going to be one, but Jakara going out of mech could very well be the difference. That's a free Graviton, and that's probably going to be the fight win. But already over 60% here accrued for Augury Gaming. That's going to be rough. And again, the ultimates are relatively even, so not that much of an advantage for the defenders.
Yeah, you got to be a little surprised with that, because the grab was eating right off the bat, but they were able to stall the fight on long enough to where they were able to build up another one, get a few more ults, and manage to get some picks. But a big Shatter coming through.
Where's the follow-up? The boop was there, but Marky Mark still gets taken down. Sayonara going low, but the sound barrier shaving him. Jenny and Jakara actually getting damaged a lot here, even though they were not initiated on themselves originally. They're gonna push back in though. Not having a
Grav
Reinhardt is
downtown.
that's gonna be a lot of follow-up on that Graviton because there is no Reinhardt to block any damage, but that Transcendence so nice from Potion. Really has the remedy just for that Grav, ready in the pocket, presses the Q button. But now we're just gonna see them fight on the point again. 6v6. This is what Ghost is about, and there's not really that much, but there's a definitive support advantage here for Augury Gaming, so they really need to make that work.
Definitely. Right now they're just playing around this pillar, trying to stay on the point. Shadow coming out
Shadow
from Rose,
doesn't
not
get
getting
anything this
anything.
time. Oh, but Rose and Jisoo both going down. I don't know. Self-destruct didn't look that well, but Jisoo maybe just underestimating it. And then the Graph comes in. Don't know if they needed it, but, you know, at least you clean up the fight and you don't have to fight into.
Grab was a little shaky there. Not 100% sure if you need to use it, but like you said, clean up.
Maybe they were expecting, you know, that they have a Transcendence next fight, so we might as well just use it now to clean up and get some more ult charge rather than fight it into the Graph next fight. That might have been a thing, but...
Definitely a factor.
Yeah.
Maybe they're trying to
will
look
have
for Lisa's Transcendence.
Maybe. There will be a Graviton close for Dragon, so could maybe combo that with a Self-Destruct, but they'll still have that Transcendence on both sides, so that could be a difference maker. Fighting into each other. Oh, Transcendence used early, though. That might open up the door for a nice
Shatter with
grab,
3,
but
though.
not
They're able
nice
to pick off
Shatter.
Dragon right here.
No, Transcendence comes out from Lisa. No problem there. Marky Mark does get charged. It almost goes down, but there is the Graviton. Lot bundled up in there, but the Sound Bearer saves them again. Marky Mark going low, finally going down, but they already lost Jetty, Jakara, and Rose. And now Hanzo.
Another Graviton going out.
Yeah, they're all bundled up with that Grav. That's probably gonna be the round closer there. Such a back and forth
That'll
fight.
end off the first map.
But they're just able to kite these ultimates and these just sort of bend them into their will on Metamorphic side. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they do it.
Kind of just showing that they were serious when they said that they have perfected their goats. JD coming in with the play of the game, or worked to perfect their goats, because sometimes the ultimates they used they didn't really need, and they were still able to win the next fight without them. So it's very impressive coming out from them. Just the skill alone that they possess.
Do you think it has more to do with ult tracking or more with the confidence over building another one in like 20 seconds anyways?
I think it probably has to do with a little bit of both, because just thinking about how, like, okay, well, I know he has Transcendence. Maybe if I use this Grav here, try to draw it out. So probably, yeah, a little bit of both. Just kind of feel the water, think like, okay, I have this. That means they are probably either really close or they have it. So it just kind of goes for thinking about your counterpart, how they're going to play, and then how you want to use your ultimate to negate theirs or make yours way better.
Yeah, I mean it's always. I mean you can never be 100% sure because obviously we can't hear their comms. They don't know exactly what they're doing. But it did really seem like they were consciously sort of overusing ultimates, which is interesting to see, because especially with things like Transcendence, as you see that a lot happening in Overwatch League as well, and with Gravitons. So there's definitely something that has been a bit of a development within the Goats meta. But
looks like they're gonna choose
now with
ban
the
pairs.
ban, I mean, I think that's a logical choice.
Mhm.
I don't think you really like. A lot of teams really are not that particularly fond of Paris. If you're gonna play an assault map, the others in the pool might be a little bit more in your favor. So map selection now, anything but control is possible. Could go to any of the other maps. There's quite a few of the pool still, obviously, because only one's been banned and only one's been played, so we're only missing 2. So yeah, what would they go to? That's the question, because we haven't really seen their DPS be incredibly overpowering. Because the answers were there for Metamorphic. But their Q3 didn't really look that bad though in Augury Gaming. It wasn't complete dominance.
No, not at all. I wouldn't say that in the slightest. I think that maybe they're gonna want to try to go with something that may lean towards that DPS, because they did have success on that on Junkertown. Finally, that's what I was just going to see. Maybe we'll see some more bunker.
That is something. I mean, even if it's not bunker, you like to see a little bit of sniper, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know, it's a fun map. I'm always looking forward to those Australian standoffs where Goats is just like gonna attack this pirate ship. It's gonna happen. We gotta be at the exact right time. That you have this dance between these two compositions. It's so nice to see. So we're gonna go look for that one soon. But there is the possibility you ban the Bastion out.
Absolutely.
But then
I
again,
think,
Augury Gaming picked the map, so I'm very, very, conscious to say
Save
that
Lucio.
they'll likely won't. I mean, that's normal. They wanna play with that 3-3, so they will always be able to actually, save that Lucio as long as they win. Yeah, that's not weird. But then they could ban something that the Lucio. The Lucio will always be valuable to a degree. You don't necessarily have to play 3-3 in order for Lucio to be valuable. But then if you're gonna ban something, it will kind of depend on what you want to run on Augury Gaming side, right?
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I love about this map though is there's just so many ways you can start off that defense. You can start off all the way in the back. You can hide in like the house over to the right when you get out of the attacking spawn. Maybe you just want to hide to the left of the attacking spawn. You can be super aggressive, you can be super passive with it, and I just love seeing how teams decide to run their defense.
Yeah. So that's probably what it's about. But we're gonna see a ban come out from Augury Gaming now. They actually banned Bastion.
Bastion.
I mean, I can imagine why you would do that.
Yeah, Bastion definitely can run through those goats.
But it's sort of yeah. But then it sort of depends. Does Augury Gaming then actually just want to play goats? Because it did seem like they were more inclined to sometimes play a little bit of a DPS type composition.
Yeah,
so
a lot of questions here. I want to see how
maybe
this goes.
maybe they are a Torbjorn team.
That would be fun.
They will actually if they run the Clockwork comp, which is now like taking Europe by storm. I'm gonna be very excited, but I'm also gonna be curious if they're able to run it. For those who don't know, the Clockwork comp is a composition that is run by Clockwork Vendetta, EU Contenders Trials teams who've gone undefeated through Open Division and are still undefeated in Trials. And what they do is they run a core of 4 heroes. It's not Bastion. It's Orisa, Roadhog, then a Mei and a Torbjorn. And their choice of supports, if they're DPS and a Mercy, sometimes an Ana and a Zenyatta. Like those other 2 are a little bit more flexible, but the other 4 are the core of what they do. They have fire, they have ice, they have a mountain, they have a wall. It's kind of a Game of Thrones comp if you look at it that way. But yeah, I'm not expecting it to come out here, but if they do it, I'll be excited. That's all I'm gonna say. And we have switched sides, by the way. No, don't be confused. Augury Gaming in the red, and MetaMorphic now in the blue. So they're gonna start their defense. Defense seems to be pretty clear. They're not actually running the Lucio here. They're going back to that good old Season 1 Overwatch League composition. Roadhog Orisa and D.Va, solo support Mercy, and the double sniper.
This is a team comp I've seen come out on the offense, but I haven't seen it too much on the defense, so I'm excited to see how this works out.
Yeah, maybe they're running it on the defense because they're expecting something similar on the offense. So they're not expecting a 3-3 to come out, so that's why it might work. Also, the map geometry might have something to do with why you're not scared of anything when you run this comp.
All right, here we go, starting off here.
Yeah, immediately some sniper shots. Dragon was actually starting on the Pharah, but immediately decides they're snipers. I'm gonna stick with it. I think that's fine. I mean, otherwise you'd say Sayonara pretty soon, right? Versus Pharah on this map's gonna be a rough one, but they're just poking a little bit for now. Some hulks coming out, some books coming out. Nothing really much being done besides a little bit of poke damage. Defender's getting a little bit of the edge though, but Jisoo doing so much healing that the Valkyrie charge, but Gatos.
Oh my gosh,
on that flank.
On the side.
But that's such a classic Hanzo flank. You would think they'd look for that, right?
And these snipers right now are just tearing through that. You definitely expect someone to come around from that right side and maybe you play your Roadhog over there to try to keep an eye out for it, or maybe your D.Va. But no one was really over there to, be ready in case someone were to decide to make that little flank around the side, try to see if they can't pick anybody off. And because of that, they lost 2 members. And then lost that fight.
The way I would usually run that is, say you put your Widow on the left flank or your Hanzo on the right flank as attackers and as defenders. So that really comes down to those 1v1s. So you use Sayonara on the left flank, the defender's right flank, attacker's left flank. It goes for those flank shots, just like Gatos was doing before. Doesn't actually get any value here. Jenny's on a little bit of fire, but actually got rezzed, so it's a bit even again. Oh, this looks like it's going so back and forth. Now the front lines are clashing. Potion taking a lot of damage straight away.
Oh, that dragon is so good. Really just separating Rosie from the rest of the team. Oh, and it's a big bomb. The shield went down last second, just that way they couldn't do anything about it. Man of Clash, you there? All right. Looks like you had to go do something really quick.
I am there. Sorry, they did use the bongos. I actually forget what they're called. The superchargers. That's what they're called.
Yep.
Now they're all going around the flanks. They want to go behind them, just deny that entire angle. We see Dragon and Sayonara facing off a little bit. Sayonara not getting the better end of that deal. Not dying though, so that's fine. Jetty is now a little bit of a risk of being sniped. Doesn't go down for it, but does actually, you know, hit a shot. And there goes Sayonara. Taking that out.
Good pull to
Potion
take
does
out
get
Potion.
taken down though, but then Rose takes too much damage. Jisoo is very low, so they're just gonna lose out in the fight again. And it's just taking them very long to get anything done, and they're not really getting any picks. It sort of feels like, are they making them move into position or something?
I don't know. I think the issue is they're kind of playing a little split because they want to have someone on that cart to try to keep it contested and keep it moving. But since all the other players are over in the corner, then they're just going to get focused down, or the guy on the car is going to get focused down, and it'll be either a 5v6 or a 1v6 and just taken out immediately. Just got to watch out for stuff like that. Really, I think they just need to play a little more together. They can get this.
Now gets Dragon as well. Such a sneaky shot. Marky Mark going down can be big though. Potion as well. That's the biggest frontline tanks going down. Noctis going for the res, but gets sniped out by Jenny. This should be the attackers getting the first point here. I don't see this going any way.
Yeah, definitely. You haven't really seen any of the Mercies really get contested when they go for the res, so it's good that they.
First one.
Yeah, that was like probably the first one I've seen where they've gone for the res and not be able to make it.
That was also, I think it was also the first res on a teammate that was in a position that was close to the enemy team. The others were all happening on flanks, I think. So it's not that weird that this one was contested, but it was definitely, you know, a very pivotal kill. I don't know if it would have changed much, but it was definitely helpful.
Yeah, definitely. So it looks like they are electing to go back to the 3-3s on both teams.
So there will be a Diva advantage here because they've got the self-destruct up, but other than that, not much happening so far. They're just gonna smack the 3-3 into each other a little bit.
Yeah, this is usually what you see when you come onto the second point. Sometimes they will elect to run the same thing that were on the first offense, but normally the 3-3 will run them over once they get through this little choke.
Usually they stick with it when they have the Bastion, right? Like the Bastion, if they set that up, that's gonna be very hard for a 3-3 to attack. But they didn't really have that same sort of thing going. So yeah, they're just gonna try and poke and fraud a little bit. But they're taking so much damage on the attackers though, as compared to the defense.
It's a lot of damage coming out both sides. Noctis really got deep in there. I'm surprised he wasn't punished too hard for that.
Oh, now we get the first drop from the attackers, with defense just drops on top of them. Jakara going very low, not getting that shatter over the payload. Actually got a few on the ground, but not the follow-up. Jenny goes down, but Marky Mark to follow, and Jakara gets punished for getting out of mech for that self-destruct. Graviton comes in here for the defenders. Nice follow-up with the self-destruct. That was just that was a good follow-up there, and nice nice cleanup as well. But they've set the cart pretty close, so Marky Mark won't be there that soon. They're taxing him back right now. That could mean positional advantage for the attackers if they're quick. Doesn't look like it will matter much. It's about the same time of arrival. But yeah, that's it was a good first fight. But now they'll be at the Graviton disadvantage.
They're to start off with the Brig ult. Good shatter, catches
on the
3.
ground. We'll definitely just finish up the Zarya first, taking it one by one. But they need to get a little bit more tempo in their kills because they're not following them up. Then the Graviton gets eaten, and they're just carrying everything back. They're just not able to run over the other composition like Goats normally does. They take down a pivotal hero, and then they sort of stand there, and they don't really go in with the follow-up.
Yeah, I was expecting a little more of an aggressive push after that Brig ultimate from Augury Gaming, and especially once they got that pick, but they just didn't really keep up with that aggressive behavior that I thought they were going to use here.
Gale's
looks like
very
they are right now.
Not actually being finished off though. They're just letting them heal back up every single time, just a little bit. It's a tiny little bit of a window that they can heal up every single time. Self-destruct, nice positioning, gets Sayonara. Sayonara again not being able to charge any graph charge up. So Dragon actually overtaking them, but they are in overtime now. They're gonna really make something happen here. That self-destruct will actually get Rose. How does that happen? Okay, they do trade back on the potion here, so this could very well still be a point finish here. Marky Mark gets stunned out and actually taken down by Jisoo. This is going to be likely a 0.2 take, but again, very close to the overtime mark. This time they are in overtime, so as much as they are making progress, the stall out from the defense is so good. So it's going to be rough to push it into the final point here, but they have ultimates to work with.
I think what really got it from that last fight was probably the fact that they were able to catch out the Brig after even taking out the Zarya. So it just really helped them with that. Looks like they're going to like to take the high ground over here. Maybe they're going to want to drop down onto him as soon as they get out from underneath. I imagine once that cart gets to about there, they're just going to rush on to Jakara here. And that
Jakara can just fly away because, you know, as long as you're not stunned, you can just use your boosters.
Looks like the teams have decided to pop sides.
Marky Mark might drop his soon. Interesting. Lisa has a good position as Zenyatta.
There goes, that's 3.
Shatter comes in, and they know they don't have his Graviton yet. Okay, Noctis actually gets taken out there. No sound barrier will be that, but Rose again just goes down. The follow-up isn't just, it just isn't there. Like, where is that explosiveness, right? Like, you go throw in the grav, you get some kills, at least 1, at least 2, because otherwise they're just able to restabilize and just get back in. Jakara even getting staggered here. We'll have about 10 seconds to come back in together, so they're gonna be able to touch the cart. This is a rough one, and you know, Sayonara didn't have that graph for a long time because was picked off a lot of few previous fights. I don't know. This is gonna be a good. This is gonna be an important fight for many reasons.
It's gonna be tough coming in this one. If that bomb's big, who knows?
Oh, potion going down. That's actually pretty big. But then Jenny goes down.
They trade Jenny.
Rose gets caught out. Oh. Ugh. The self-destructs were both. They wanted to do the same thing with the self-destructs, but it just didn't. It got way more value for the second self-destruct of MetaMorphic, and now they're just gonna be able to run over them, clean them all up, and yeah, I don't think Rose and Jenny will be able to do much about that.
Oh, Rose was able to touch the point last second though onto that Hammond. Looks like he's just gonna go for as long as the stall as possible.
It's not gonna be a long stall, is it?
No, not at all. The overtime just goes down way too fast, and I think coming out of that, you gotta think. Like, Augury Gaming, they started to play super aggressive at points, but once the enemy team just backed off a little bit, they were like, okay, I think we won that, and then they went back to being passive, but they should have just kept that aggression going. I think that might have made the difference between them getting it just past the second point versus getting it all the way there.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a syndrome that you see sometimes when teams play against NYXL, because they're really good at that. You know, they do that slingshot maneuver where they're like, oh, we back up, and then we go. And I don't know. I think that something similar is happening here with MetaMorphic doing the same sort of thing. They're not really being aggressive themselves. They're sort of capitalizing on the lack of aggression or the mistiming of aggression from Augury Gaming here.
Yeah, MetaMorphic is definitely reading them a lot better when it comes to how they are deciding to be aggressive and when to push, how to push.
What do you think? What do you think a big factor in that is? That just experience, or?
I think it is just kind of a play style and how normally some teams would decide like, okay, we're down like one guy, we're gonna back off and try to regroup, and then we're gonna come in really fast again. Meanwhile, some people are like, okay, we're down one, let's back up a bit, get a little healed up, and then we're gonna rush in there and we're gonna focus this person down and we're gonna get them. So I think it just really comes down to play styles and how they like to do that.
We do once again see the same mirror on both sides as we saw on the first attack. So nothing new here, but I'm interested to see if Augury Gaming can do the same thing with the flanking snipers if they're not just, you know, held up. Also, who knows? Maybe MetaMorphic will just switch back over to the 3-3.
Always possible. Always possible.
Some halts coming out, some shots coming out. Dragon now has a pretty good position, but is immediately dueling Sayonara there. Gets hit and gets finished off. Jisoo will be able to get their res off, but that's something you're missing for this fight. So Gale's going down though, so it's probably also going to be res, but Jenny definitely on that flank being very with Sayonara. Again, getting Dragon up. Gale's being res, that's a numbers advantage, and that's a definitive one.
Oh, it was a good hook onto the main tank there. That's gonna probably what makes this push all the way there.
Yeah, Rose being finished off there is not something you want to see. There we go. Yeah, that should probably be point A because they're still staggering them out.
Definitely. What really made it there was that good hook pull combo onto the Orisa. You know, you saw the resin coming in from both sides, and Sainara able to get some picks. You know, hook pull able to take out their main tank. Really, just an equation to make them go all the way to the point. Add 1 and 2 together, you're definitely gonna get 3, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, I mean, some people will disprove that mathematical theory sometimes, but you know, they might be wrong.
Good point.
We will see. We'll not see the high ground contest here from MetaMorphic. Does seem like they want to maybe loop back around. They have been scouted out. I think they're aware of what's going on, but that still doesn't. It's a very long loop though. Like they giving up. They take a lot of time to do this. It is better work out. Otherwise, well, there's not much they can do. And then they just switch sides once again, which is always interesting to see if teams do this.
Yeah. I wonder why they pushed all the way around. I think maybe it was just to make them drop down on the low ground, possibly. But I wouldn't see.
I think they just wanted to make sure that they had high ground to just sort of stand off on. They're just pushing the payload for free, and now it sort of feels like the defenders are attacking the payload, which is
Not
something you don't
good.
see. Potion going very low here, JD as well, so a lot of damage coming out. Nice self-destruct, doesn't get anything, but very nice combos. Both self-destructs being blocked there. So
Rose's barrier
no
got destroyed
damage
in that.
coming out. Jenny going very low. Rose, like you said, the barrier is actually still destroyed. Marky Mark doesn't have a shatter though, so not really much to capitalize
Oh,
on.
no.
Nice Transcendence doesn't manage to save Rose. That is something you're gonna want back. Mostly the life of Rose, I think, and then Jenny following suit. Marky Mark does get traded, so there might be
They're
some hope
using
here
a sound
for
barrier
defense.
here.
Nice graviton, but doesn't actually get much follow-up, unfortunately. Then the counter grab comes in, only gets Jakara, but oh, the spawn advantage is there for defense. That's a nice shatter, but you're not gonna be able to follow up on that on your own if you don't hit anyone. Well, not
Absolutely.
everyone, at least. Oh, poor Rose.
I wonder why Rose
been-
chose to use that there. I don't know if maybe he's deciding to make
been-
a switch.
He's been battered around a lot. He thought maybe they could get some follow-up, but he just missed 2 key players from that shatter. Problematic for them.
This is gonna be hard for Augury Gaming going into this next one
4.5 minutes, only
have 3
less than
ultimates
20
now.
meters to go. That does. Oh, actually gets Jisoo. Jisoo has been caught out a lot. That's so unfortunate. Nice shatter coming in here from Marky Mark. These slight old combinations, the ability combinations have been so good here on the side of Metamorphic, and looks like this is not going to be a very long defense anymore.
Not quite, not at all. Lisa was able to make another Transcendence though before they capture the next point, which is pretty impressive, but it's not going to be enough to keep them from capping the point, and that's exactly what Metamorphic is going to do.
Where do you think the biggest difference between these teams lie? Like what hero matchups or like what's happening?
I feel like Metamorphic feels a little more synergized, like a little more like, yeah, like they all kind of share the same brain. They kind of know what one wants to do right after the other. And I think we saw that in the last map. We see it in this map. And JD, like how we just see in this play of the game, I think JD's been making amazing plays. 73% kill participation. They have good grabs. They're definitely supportive of their team. They're still killing people normally. So I think JD might be a runner for MVP, which you can vote on.
Yeah, I think the even other side though is actually even more grabs. So I'm not entirely sure. Like we'll have to go back and check that. But yeah, I think definitely consider your MVP votes. Could be a front runner. I've seen a lot of MVP votes go a little bit astray, where it's just like the people will get all these votes. They're like, wait, why did that player get them? But sometimes you're just loved by the people for something else.
Sometimes you make one big play, just wins you the whole thing. Maybe you're consistent throughout. It just depends on what the fans notice and what they think was the most important.
Maybe they saw you on stream once, It's,
maybe they are just a fan. That's always possible. Yeah,
just a fan. Yeah,
maybe mom's watching.
I mean, I'm just happy that people like the Franer XQC are not in this, because they would always get MVP, and they're like, why do you even bother? But I mean, the next map that we're gonna get here in the series is not gonna be Nepal, because I'm pretty sure that's not on the map pool. But Yeah, they've banned Hanamura out, so Paris and Hanamura are both not playable. Could be that we don't see Assault at all in this one, but we're gonna go to Oasis instead. That's gonna be a choice for Augury Gaming, and they really need to make something happen here because they're 2-0 down in the series, and yeah, this would be a pretty quick one if they just lose Oasis. And control maps are notoriously quick, so
Yeah, definitely.
Problem. I mean, I don't know if that's a problem with control. That's a discussion for another time. But yeah, going over to Oasis, do you think Augury is gonna go back to more of like trying to play DPS, or will it depend a little bit on the map the hero ban saves?
I think their goal is to go back towards more of a DPS included composition, but I wouldn't be surprised if they just pick Oasis just because they feel more comfortable on those control point maps. Kind of like how they did with Lijiang Tower. They played the DPS and like, okay, that was pretty good. That was the closest we were. Let's try to replicate that in this next match. But depending on who gets banned, it can make it much harder. Maybe they have to try to run something else that they aren't too comfortable with, but they're like, we need the DPS. That's what we've got to do. But who knows?
Yeah, it's definitely what we're looking at. Again, Lucio being saved, not a huge surprise. You know, they saved it in the last map, and you know, if you want to play it through 3, even if there's some variation in other heroes, Lucio is still pretty imperative to that. We kind of want him there.
You can ban pretty much anyone else, and you could just replace them.
Yeah.
Be
Oh, they're
honest.
banning Brig though.
Brig.
Ooh,
Okay.
I mean, I'm not. There's a lot of reasons why you would ban Brig, but that EMP being cancelled on Lijiang by the Brig, I would say that's a pretty good reason. I would say that is like a reason in itself enough to just say let's not have the Brig there, because any other hero will have a much harder time blocking that EMP. So that might be a reason. In general, it's just nice to not have to run into a Brig when you want to run things like Tracer and Sombra, but I don't know. We haven't seen the ban today yet, so always nice to see some variation here.
Definitely. I think when you're running this 3-3, if you really want to replace Brig, I can see the Brig being replaced by possibly either a Moira or a Baptiste. On this point here, I think a Moira would be pretty good here.
I've seen it happen with Ana's as well. You know, see it in the Overwatch League sometimes where the flex DPS or hit scan DPS will go over to Ana instead of the Brig being there. Not that popular on control maps though. That switch.
No.
So because it's
not quite.
You know, like, Ana doesn't really have enough self-sustain in these compositions. So, like you said, the Moira or the Baptiste sounds a little bit more believable to me. But this is the quintessential 3-3 point of the 3. So, a little bit unfortunate maybe for Augury to go here first. But then again, they don't have to worry about the Brig, so that might help them.
Absolutely.
Oh, Gatos. I don't
imagine them staying with that, but I'd love to see it.
Oh, I would like that. I would like that very much. Because the thing is, Sayonara is the one that usually goes over to Zarya. So Gatos is normally their Brig player. So if this happens, that we see... I don't imagine we see the Tracer, but the Doomfist is a genuine possibility. Has that same stun and the CC capability to a degree. On the other side...
And they are going to go with it.
Pharah, yeah. Hanzo, Pharah is a Pharmacy and an Ana. Orisa and a Diva. I hope they don't get overrun too much, honestly. I think that's gonna be...
Yeah, they're gonna have to go back and swap. They know that immediately.
Oh, they are. I don't know if they have to, though. I think they might be able to do something with it, because as long as you get through the Orisa shield and you don't take too much damage in the process, you'd be fine. Oh, they're gonna go for the Sombra. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah,
Sombra makes
EMP
more sense
sort of dismantles half their composition mostly.
Yeah.
But they are gonna give up
point
control
on a Mercy or Pharah. You're gonna give it up, but that's understandable. Sometimes you gotta make the swap back to make the whole game a little bit more winnable.
They're gonna go in hard straight away. That charge doesn't really get that much value, and Marky Mark actually going down. That's a huge loss because now all the damage will be free. Besides, you know, a little bit of shielding and D-Matrix. JD also going low. They're gonna try and hide in there, but now I think you're just gonna go after the Ana. Jenny immediately taking down that Egyptian woman. Unfortunately, JD going over the cliff. Jenny accruing a lot of ult percentage there. Already has the barrage. That's gonna come in handy in the next fight, especially combined with a Dragon Strike. You know, zone them out into a little corridor and then barrage them in there. That could be something.
Looks like we're switching to a little more of a dive comp on the side of MetaMorphic.
Yeah, maybe want to go for that nano blade, but you know, if you got the nano already, you still don't have the blade. You might just want to use the nano now, blade later.
Yeah, use it on the Winston to try to build up his ultimate, jump onto possibly the Orisa.
They're going straight onto the point. There comes the barrage, gets potion, but yeah, that's enough kills. I think that's enough kills that you win that fight. Dragon does go down, but they'll be able to at least res the Hanzo back up. Hanzo actually playing Hanzo this time. I like that. Don't have to be like Hanzo playing Tracer. No,
Yeah,
it's just Hanzo. That's fine. Good dragon. Throwing out the dragons as well. So it all comes together on this one.
I'm surprised they didn't use their nano in the last fight. Actually, I don't think it would have been good in the last fight. I take that back. They may have been able to make more ult percentage from Marky Mark if him jumping in, like how they are now.
Potion going low straight away, but not finished off. And then Gatos and Marky Mark getting some value from their dive in. Marky Mark and Noctis going down though, so less mobility, less tankiness. And now they're just in a room again. And with those mobility heroes, you don't want to be stuck in a room. You want to be out there fighting. That's what the self-destruct's gonna do. Jenny actually getting taken down, hacked, but nano boosted. Doesn't really work together that well. So now we get Gatos going in, close to the Dragon Blade, goes very low to the Purple Maid. Actually almost finished off, but manages to live. Gonna come back in with the Dragon Blade. I don't know if he's gonna use it, but he could. EMP will seal this fate.
No, I believe he's gonna save this because they're gonna be able to build up this nano for next fight.
Oh, potion.
Basically
Yeah,
off
potion
of Marky Mark if he makes it out.
Yeah, exactly. Just heals it back up. Oh. That's going to be a good nano blade. 99% though, so they can just afford to run in and lose like 2 fights to their ultimates and build up some of their own and then win the map. Like it's a possibility. I'm surprised they're not switching anything off. They might just think like this is working. Oh, Hanzo went to the Roadhog. That worked. So Dragon is now on the Roadhog. I'll try not to call him Hanzo anymore.
Yeah, here comes the nano blade.
Comes in.
Able to pick up at least a potion. Also picked off in the back. Is he going to be able to find anything else with that?
Maybe. Oh, no, Jisoo going down is the big deal. If Jisoo stays alive, they might be able to res something up, and then you sort of up in numbers. But they lost that fight relatively decisively. It wasn't that close, but now like I said, they have five ultimates coming up just about. So definitely able, if they do one more good like short dry push, I think they should be able to win this.
Definitely. I think what really is going to be a factor here is whether or not they're going to be able to use the Primal Rage and the Self-Destruct together, maybe. See what they can do with that to try to displace enemies and get them popped off by the Self-Destruct.
Sound Barrier comes straight away. Marky Mark going down. Didn't actually run it. And Sayonara going down as well. Jenny popping off here. That's what you like to see from your Pharah. Gatos going very low, being pulled back. Potion actually gets a little hug from the Roadhog hook. And they're just bullying them off the point at this point. Fight is going long though, so they cannot afford to lose this either team. But it is looking good here from Augury Gaming. Jenny, Nana boosted, Pharah just throwing in the rockets. There's the barrage. Almost gets eaten up entirely, but Potion does go down to the last rockets of it. EMP follows up. This is a very close fight. There's the blade from Gatos, gets 2. They pull it back. I think MetaMorphic might actually take this one.
I think they have. They pulled it off there at the end with the nano, or the regular blade, actually. They didn't even need a nano for that one. That was pretty impressive. I thought that
kiting.
Take that back, Jenny.
It was the kiting. They just all ran into that basement. You know, the basement area. I think they called the archives area with that large health pack. So Potion went in there. Gatos went in there. Noctis went in there. They were all just hiding in there just long enough for that EMP and that blade, like everything to come back, because that barrage, especially the nano barrage, should have gotten more value there. And Jenny just not being able to continue the first 2 kills. Like that streak was looking okay, but just stopped it by running away, unfortunately.
Yeah. Ooh, that was such a close matchup there at the end. Looking at the team comps now, looks like they're going to go for pretty much the same thing on Metamorphic side as they ended up there. And Augury again with the quad DPS, hoping to get something out of that. I don't know how
effective the Genji will be in this scenario. We've heard a lot of pros being very negative about the utility of Genji in these type of matchups, or in general. So Marky Mark going so low already. Can they finish him off? Yes, they can. Jakari gets traded by Sayonara though, but I think missing your Winston is a little more important in this situation.
Definitely. It's hard to win fights after you lost your main tank, but speaking of losing main tanks, there goes Rose.
Oh, Rose. Yeah, that's a bit of a problem. It's a nice type of wine, but not that nice if you're losing it on your battlefield. So Hack not going off from Sayonara though. Nice line of sight being broken there. Marky Mark's already back, but so is Rose because the Wrecking Ball's just a little bit faster. And that was a nice slam. Are they going to be able to pick off Potion? Doesn't look like it. Oh, they do. Jenny again with the nice direct knock. It's going after Noctis as well. That's the healer's gone. But so are Jakara and Lisa. This is just trading out a little bit, but I think missing her supports might be a little bit more important than missing those 2 hit-scan DPS.
I mean, right now it's Jenny versus the world. Just getting all
Rose
these.
is back. Jakara is back. They're getting a lot of value here. Sayonara saying goodbye to her life there. Yeah, Marky Mark tries to stall out for a little bit, but doesn't actually touch the point. So that's kind of a little bit of a feeder move. If you're gonna stall, please stall.
He went in there. I'm pretty sure he expected to stall on
I
point, but he got stuck up top, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I could critique it all day long, but honestly, I've probably not made even close to that play. So yeah, a lot of ultimates though. It's almost 6 on both sides, to be honest. The Potion and JD a bit behind.
The EMP catching out the flying duo Far Mercy.
Sayonara not being there though to follow it up, but Hanzo does get the tac visor off on his soldier there, so doesn't actually get value, but does pressure them back. So that gives his team a little bit time to reposition to get back to the fight. I don't know if Marky Mark is gonna try to good Rose off the map. Actually gets killed by the cars.
Primal.
Oh, Rose not playing in traffic. That is not what you want to do when you're a hamster. You're just a little bit too small. Those cars will just wreck you.
Definitely. I think the win condition of that fight was definitely just getting Jenny and Jisoo out of the air right there to just allow everybody to come in without having to worry about the far up in the sky, and then they could go ahead.
First,
he pulls
right?
that primal. He hits them everywhere. He's able to knock them off. It's just everything worked out right there for the ultimates that they used.
Jakara's got to hit a good EMP here. He's got to hit the right targets. Noctis is not allowed to get that sound barrier up. There were a lot of ways that was going to go, but that is a nice way for that to play out. Jisoo going to get not self-destructed this time. Potion does get taken out, but so does Jenny. No res this time, so looks like MetaMorphic might win this out, especially with that EMP being used. But yeah, I mean, they have control of the point. They don't mind this fight going on forever. So it looks like Augury is just going to retreat here, not losing any more members. But that was a nice EMP, but the sound barrier, like I said, if he gets that off, it doesn't really matter how good your EMP is.
Absolutely. Rose's in there. Hack's just kind of feeding right now. I don't know if he'll be able to make it out of that one.
Nope. Won't. JD does lose the mech for it. Lisa's now switched over to the Widowmaker. That might be a little bit better than a Tracer. You know, take a little bit more of that range to force them to come onto you rather than you trying to get on them.
Yeah, possibly. With the Genji pick, though, it could be a little more shaky, a little scary at times in case he gets dove upon, but we'll see how it goes.
Jenny taking out JD straight away. There's another tac visor for
2 picks. The tac visor. Able to pick up somebody, maybe?
We'll be able to get Noctis.
Able to get Noctis, and he made Potion
all
low
going down. So it's going to be Marky Mark. I was going to say Marky Mark versus the world, but really Marky Mark versus Life and Life 1. You know,
it happens.
I don't know if that's the one you want to go for, but a little bit deep. I'm sorry for that.
All right. Sayonara looking around, close to the EMP, should be able to use the next fight, but what really can you follow it up with? They need to get that blade back pretty fast.
I mean, it's gonna be once again Noctis. Yeah, Noctis versus Jakara is back on that matchup. Marky Mark going down straight away. Gatos as well.
Sleep
so no
on
blade. Yeah, so no blade, no primal, even though it wasn't online yet. But like that's a lot of value lost there. So Gatos didn't get to build his blade further. Marky Mark didn't get to build his primal further. They'll have the EMP. They still have the sound barrier. But there's also an EMP on the other side. So when it's Stagger and JD, we're looking at last fight territory. Is this going to be the series for Metamorphic, or are we going to extend the lifeline a little bit more?
Looking at the ultimates right now,
could go either way, right?
Close. It really could go either way. There it goes. He gets the flying duo again. That's exactly what he needs to do. But Sayonara gets taken out. Marky Mark gets taken out.
There were simultaneous EMPs, so we actually didn't hear both voice lines. They were just played simultaneously. So the follow-up wasn't there because they are also hacked. Nice self-destruct, doesn't actually get anyone. Nice grapple away from Lisa, now has the infra side, so we'll be able to take down Noctis. Nice shot from Lisa there. And now Dragon cleaning up together with the rest of his team. Look like this is going to go the way of Augury Gaming, but Marky Mark is back, close to their primal. Will be able to charge that up in time? Looks like it's getting focused a little bit. Nope, it won't be. JD is there. Another tac visor. That is the round for Augury Gaming.
Let's see another day.
Definitely. I mean, this might have been a little bit what we're expecting, right? With a DPS-centric map, but now we're gonna go to the it can go. You can go with both styles here on the next one.
We're heading over
Gardens.
to Gardens.
This is the decisive one. Now you really got to show that a DPS will fare up well against whatever they throw at you. Lisa going off to the Widowmaker was a big deal though in the end, wasn't it?
I think it definitely was, because they were just able to get so much pick damage from afar, and it was like, okay, well, who do we jump onto? Are we going to jump onto the Widow in the back? But if we do that, then we're just going to get focused down by the Pharah and the Mercy and everybody else. And then, well, should we maybe jump onto the Soldier? But then, oh, well, Lisa's over there just putting in more damage. So it's just really hard right now for them to try to figure out who they want to dive upon.
Are you happy with the Tracer pick?
With the Tracer pick, I mean, it's not bad. I think if Sayonara was maybe running a McCree, it would not be as good, but the Tracer pick I think will be okay for this map as it is being right now. Try to focus down the Ana in the back, maybe try to waste some of her abilities on you.
Sayonara just has to run away from all those rockets. Jenny's been really a threat to anything on the ground so far. Goes straight after a Soldier, recognizing the biggest threat. Rose going down early though, that's not gonna be good for them, but Potion missing might be even worse for this side of MetaMorphic here. So they're gonna fight over this first point control, and it does look like they're not gonna. Oh, they're gonna make it in for the stall. Marky Mark coming back in. Sayonara did go down to Dragon though, so nice slam from Rose, able to finish up Marky Mark. The Tracer actually working out, like you said before. I didn't have that much faith in it, not gonna lie, because it wasn't that valuable in earlier maps. But nice to see that Dragon is definitely making that one work.
Yeah, definitely. The pick onto Potion was really good there, because with their lineup, their self-sustain is a little low. Lucio heals not as good as they could be. So you kind of just have to work around that. And they just weren't able to get healed up as much as they wanted to going back into the fight. And that's kind of just what won them that was the fact that everyone Metamorphic was so low.
Lisa's just there and says, come and jump me. I cannot get away that far. I only have a little bit of a double jump. It's not like Widow. Like Lisa could just grapple away with Widow. Wasn't the case this time. But nice EMP once again onto Jenny. Jenny getting focused down actually kills himself somehow.
Yeah.
I mean, that sometimes happens. You know, you think you can hit something and you hit yourself. Maybe wanted to go for a little bit of an air jump with that rocket. But not a lot of trades being made out just yet. So it's a little bit of a back and forth. Lee's actually getting the pick back on Sayonara. Now they're even in the fight again. And now they're going to trade out. Nice Dragon. Doesn't actually get kills, but just split them up. Jisoo going down. Might hurt them a little bit. Gatos coming back in with that Sombra, getting the double kill. That might swing the fight back. Oh, this is really... I mean, they're stalling out, though. Like, they're still happy with getting up percentage, but Jenny, again, getting hacked.
Yeah.
They've really got Jenny's number, don't they?
It seems they do. I think that was, honestly, probably the worst thing that could have happened. They dumped so many... Augury Gaming dumped so many ults into that fight to no avail. They dumped 5 of their ultimates into that, and nothing came from it. They lost the point. Yeah, they maybe picked up another 10-15 percentage if they didn't, but... You gotta look at it and think, was it really worth it, you know?
Mirage is not ready here for Jenny. Yeah, if the EMP comes out on time for Gatos, that could be big, but the hack on JD could just prove to be fatal, because they can say there's no defense matrix, I can just press Q, and gets the value. They get the value from it. Potion on the high ground gets the nano off on Marky Mark. Marky Mark is getting Jenny out. Potion was so smart repositioning in that fight, still goes down. The damage might have already been done. Marky Mark, nanos run out, Sayonara is very low, but just chases down Lisa. They're both so low though. Where's the healing? They need some health here. Marky Mark actually manages to get back to spawn. He just gets healed back up by Potion.
I think Rose needs to hurry up and get out of there. They need to regroup. Just these fights that they're losing.
They're so good at that, those retreats though. Like, you would think that, because both Sayonara and Marky Mark were on a sliver of health. You just get out.
Yeah,
like,
they're able to make it out of those situations, and it's kind of absurd with the mobility that Augury Gaming has. They need to be able to focus.
Yeah, right. It's not just me, right? Like, I also find that weird. Nice minefield though. They're all corralled in that little corridor, so that at least they know where they are. Dragon comes in. Actually, some follow up there. Marky Mark going down straight away. That is huge. Okay, EMP got some value there, but Gatos has his. Watch out for Gatos EMP. That actually translocates away, so won't be able to translocate in the air for a little bit. Does still hit Jenny, but Jenny is safe in the high ground behind it, and they did get the counter kills. So
this
EMP
looks like Augury's. Yep.
EMP was that wasted of EMP, or do you think they had a shot at bringing that back?
Looking back on it, I think that it was a long shot. I really don't think I could see it happening where it gets you the victory in many scenarios. I think everything would have to fall just right, and unfortunately it didn't.
Yeah, I know they won't have it. They'll be behind on the EMP charge. They'll have the self-destruct, the nano, and they have some ultimates, right? But I don't know if they're going to be enough, and they need to really charge the EMP either very quickly. But Gatos just gets taken down. This is the first kill already. Marky Mark jumping in with that nano. We'll have the primal soon as well. They already get
Getting
the
the
first
farm
kill.
mercy though is actually super
That's a big deal. That's huge. Gatos is going to come back on the soldiers. Wants to be that quick, do some damage without having to be somber basically. But yeah, and then the point's going to flip back over to MetaMorphic, and they're really going to get back to this point now. I think Jisoo might be able to make it on that Lucio. 3%, 2, 1. Jenny makes it. That's fine. Dragon going down straight away. Jakara as well. This looks to go all the way to MetaMorphic, and that is so... Yeah, Dragon is going to clean it up here. So that will be likely the map soon.
Yeah, that'll be the map right
we
there.
go. That'll be the map. And not just the map, also the series.
The series
MetaMorphic, definitely a 3-0. Not as decisive as it could have been, but definitely that last map, Oasis, it was so close.
Always close.
I think there was just a little bit of a struggle on Lijiang to get warmed up. Then Junkertown was obviously just... I don't even know what happened there anymore. But then Oasis, that's when it didn't feel like they were warmed up. Like they were ready to go, and they had some answers as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
great
such a
plays.
shame.
Great plays coming out.
Oh, well. You know what? It's not a problem, because it's only the first round. So, no one eliminated yet. No one going to finals yet or anything. It's just the first round.
There's always that second chance.
There's always that second chance. And Augury has to play against Honey Badgers. And, Augury has maybe seen Honey Badgers play. And now know that, Honey Badgers not that great against DPS comps sometimes. So that could be a chance there. Definitely. But yeah, MetaMorphic taking the win out. Next week, is that next week? Yeah, it's gonna be the 17th. So I would call that next week. Going up against Magnaventus then. So be looking out for that match. It's gonna be a good one.
Definitely.
But for now, let's not look too far in the future. Let's stay in the now. Let's have an interview with JD from MetaMorphic. Welcome to the chat, JD. How are you feeling? Congratulations on the win.
Thank you. I'm feeling really great. My team played extremely well. We really improvised when Brig got banned, which is something we don't obviously have experience with because we don't usually play in hero ban tourneys. So I'm pretty happy with the result.
Yeah, it was an amazing job coming back from that Brig ban. I didn't know if that was going to be what would take you guys down or not, but it was pretty good adaptation. What did you think going into that Brig ban? What was like your first thought? Was it your first thought to go with your first company you went with, or were you like, okay, maybe this 2-2-2 is definitely better?
Well, our idea was we talked about it before the match, and we figured people were going to try to prevent goats against us, so we were focusing on either the Diva ban, the Brig ban, or the Lucio ban, but we protected the Lucio constantly. So our plan was to go with the Doom, because we kind of think of Doom as like a Brig without armor, because you can still, and it's kind of even better because you can do the uppercut combos with Shatter. But it ended up not working because their pharmacy ended up being too much of a threat, so we ended up switching off. And Sombra Genji is our comp we have the most practice with.
Oh, okay, that's very neat.
In terms of dive variants.
Yeah. On Junkertown, you guys were seeming to do similar comps, but you always seem to have the upper hand. Why do you think that is? Are you guys super synergized, you think? You guys always kind of know what each other are trying to do? Because I noticed a lot of times you were there to like support your Mercy in case there was a res needed, or you were just able to get picks off. So what was kind of the whole team thinking about when you're going into that?
I think that really comes from our experience together as a team. We've really grown a strong synergy together, and our comms were really energized because we were really excited to play the match. And also, we just recently changed. We used to run a Zen in place of the Hog, but our Widow was having trouble holding the right lane by herself when they ran a Hog, so we decided to run counter Hog with solo Mercy heal. So the Widow won't get caught out because it's hard for the Mercy to fly to the right lane. And also, I feel the other team is focusing more on shield break with limited amount of lane control, and we just were better at controlling our lanes. Our DPS won their duels, especially on first, and then in the Goats v Goats mirror, I think we just had better mechanics and better understanding of the comp.
Nice, absolutely. Going further into the tournament, how are you gonna look back on this game and think, how can we as a team improve, or how can we take anything from the enemy team that others might use against us to kind of help everyone out?
I think we're gonna have to really work on our dive comps to counter quad and triple comps, mostly with pharmacy, because that seems to be our issue. And I don't think it'll be as easy as how we thought it would be prior to the match. I think that this match has been a good warning sign for us of how we could get beaten in the future. So I think our goats will maintain its strength though, when we're allowed to play it.
Well, I mean that's what your coach alluded to as well. You know, it was really like, yeah, you know, the theory crafting haven't been that much lately because you're just perfecting your goats. I would say that was visible, definitely. Another question though, maybe more on the fun side, is you know, we usually have an MVP vote here. The results aren't there yet. Would you like which member on the other team would you give the MVP vote to? Like if you had to vote yourself.
I would probably give their Sombra, because the closest map being that Oasis map, she constantly kept me under pressure by just always forcing me to spy check her, and sometimes I would miss it. So she was just constantly chain hacking me, so therefore I had free reign. So the synergy between the two is really good, but I think the Sombra was mastermind in terms of their composition.
Okay, good to hear. Yeah, I think I do have another question here, Zach. Because I'm a little bit dry here.
When you guys practice goats, do you normally, when you scrim, do you try to get people who run goats, or do you try to get people who run more of a quad DPS to try to get used to that?
Honestly, we usually just take the best teams available, because like good teams are good teams, and we're gonna have to beat them in matches eventually. So might as well get practice against all sorts of strategies.
All right.
As of recently, because it's in between open divisions, we're getting a lot of lesser like teams, because teams are like doing tryouts, and like a lot of teams have disbanded. But no, we don't really have a strategy in who we book with, just the best teams available.
Nice.
I mean, I guess that's your manager's job, right?
Yeah, that's not my problem.
yeah, it's not really your control. But I mean, it's nice to have someone do that for you, so you don't have to do your own scrim scouting, so to speak. You can focus on your plays, and that's it shows that you can definitely focus on those.
Our staff is great.
Yeah. And are you at all like because you've been together for quite a while already? Like, have you gotten close to your teammates as well? Is it like sort of a friendship as well, or is it more of a, you know, we've met on the internet, that's about it?
With my previous teams, I used to have we met on the internet, that's about it. But with like these 5 guys are awesome, and like we've been together for so long, and like when you play together like 4 hours minimum every day, like you really develop a close bond. Like that's your evening every day, like 6 days a week, right? So yeah, I would definitely call these guys really good friends.
All right. Do you have any more questions, Man of Class?
I personally do not, but you know, looking forward, because you have a team to scout. Like we just the other match that we did before this was played out, so we already know your opponent for the next time. It's going to be Magna Ventus. I don't know if you know them. Are you like familiar with their team at all, or do you think like, oh, that's something we could play against? Are you at all familiar with them?
We scrim Magnaterra, which is their sister team, and I may be incorrect, so I like don't blame me, but I'm pretty sure Magnaterra is like their best team, and we usually have pretty good results against them. And I watched a bit of the match, and I may be mistaken, but it looked like Magna Ventus, like I was kind of confused because it looked like they were trying to force quad, but they were winning on the Goat Smear. Yeah, and they were winning on the Goat Smear, so I don't understand. But yeah, they look strong. We've scrimmed both teams, and I'm pretty confident going into the next game. I think we're going to take it.
Okay. Well, I mean, you know, you're confident going into this game, and it turned out to be a little bit more tricky, but yeah, I wish you luck, obviously, in the next one. With that, though, I can also tell you that, unfortunately, people were not as fond of you as you might hope. Doesn't mean you're not loved by anyone. Don't worry, JD. But it's actually Gatos that's gotten the MVP vote this time. So congratulations to Gatos. You can definitely, brag, give him bragging rights for that one. But yeah, are there any other shout-outs you want to do? You know, obviously, you can maybe leave Gatos out because you already got the community shout-outs.
I'd like to shout out my staff. Empress, who's been with us for a couple weeks, has done a great job in the assistant coaching role when June can't make it. Gene's been our head coach for a long time, and he's really done a good job preparing us for high tier competition. And Bucky does a great job getting us scrims. And just shout out to all my teammates because they're amazing, and I wouldn't be able to perform like I do, or we wouldn't be able to perform like I do without everybody's impact.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Well, I mean, then, you know, again, congratulations on the win. Good luck further in the tournament. Maybe we'll talk to you again next time you win.
Always a possibility.
You could also just throw someone else under your bus. You know, you don't always have to do the interviews yourself. But yeah, again, thanks, congratulations, and I think that's the broadcast for now. I mean, we've done it, we've made it, Zach. How do you feel about
made it all the way. Feel a little wore out. These games have been really action packed, honestly, from both sides. From the first game to the second game, just love watching good quality Overwatch, and that's exactly what we got here today.
Yeah, it's always nice to get in the Watchers Brawl. And speaking of the Watchers Brawl, they actually have a Twitter as well. They have a, you know, they obviously have this Twitch channel. They have a YouTube channel. You can follow them everywhere. It's all the same, all the Watchers OW. So definitely hit those follow buttons, because then you can stay updated when the next great game is gonna come along. Because they've been good so far. I don't think we have really had, I mean, would say boring games, like less entertaining games, so to speak. So, you know, keep updated with it. You might be able to see us around again, me and Zach. You can also find us on Twitter. I think, Zach, for you, it's Poor Zach, just everywhere.
Twitch.tv/PoorZach, Twitter/PoorZach. I don't really use Twitter, but it's there.
Yeah, for me, for
YouTube,
me,
PoorZach. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah. Also,
Gonna be a lot more action packed on there.
I mean, do you have everything under your Twitch banners? Because then people can just go to Twitch and just click on it, right?
I do. If you go in there, you just put in the commands, and you're gonna be able to go to my YouTube, my Twitch, my Twitter, pretty much whatever.
Yeah, I have sort of the same thing going on, but I'm more active on Twitter because lately I haven't really had to schedule the stream. So it's Man of Class OW. Everything's linked on every other platform, so you'll be able to find it if you want to. And if you want to hear me ramble or read me rambling about stuff, I do a blog article lately for Monkey Bubble. So it's probably on my Twitter as well, where you can find it. So go ahead and look that up. You don't even have to follow. As long as you read it, that's also fine. But for now, I think we're done with this one. Everyone have a good night. I hope you enjoyed this one after the incredible Overwatch League finals that we had. You know, it's a little bit of a different format, but still good Overwatch. And yeah, we'll maybe see you in the next one. So good night.
Yeah, thank you.